Hi everyone, my name is Christy Dabner, and today I'm going to be talking to you about stage fright. According to the video on the science of stage fright and how to overcome it, stage fright is a threat reaction that happens in our brains prior to giving a speech. The video states that as humans, we are wired to worry about our reputation. And the fight or flight response that sometimes happens to many of us prior to giving a speech is a self-protective response to that very threat. There are some psychological or physiological reactions that happen to many of us prior to giving a speech or even during giving a speech. I will never forget my first college oral presentation. Throughout high school, I had talked my teachers out of a lot of oral presentations, but this speech I did have to do. I had even shared with some classmates how nervous I was about giving the oral presentation. And I had known a lot of Spanish at this point. This was a Spanish 3 class. However, when I got up to give my oral presentation, I completely forgot Spanish. It was like I didn't even know it. In addition to that, my eyes got so watery that I couldn't read my paper, and every time I tried to speak, my lips were trembling. Needless to say, it wasn't my best speech, and it really wasn't that great of an experience. So what can we do to maximize our speech giving abilities and kind of dampen the pre-anxiety jitters that we sometimes get? Well, according to the video, it's difficult to entirely rid ourselves of those pre-anxieties. However, we can do things to help it out. Part of the reason that it's hard to entirely rid ourselves of those anxieties is that we're animals, and it's our body's natural response to the stressful situation that we're in. Also, some people are wired just to worry about things like giving a speech, whereas other people, it doesn't really bother them. So remember, it is natural. Some of the tips that they gave us were very helpful. Some of them that I find would be helpful would be 1, focusing on what you can control. I know for me, doing something like eating a little something beforehand or making sure that I have proper rest are really going to set me up for better success in giving my speech. Additionally, one of the tips was to practice, and not just practice once, but practice a lot. I think back to that Spanish oral presentation and what it would have looked like if I would have taken the time to practice beforehand. Another tip that I found would be really helpful was practicing in the environment where you will be giving the speech. I think this is a great tip. One of my sons, who struggles with a little bit of anxiety, every year before the new school year, we set up to take him to visit his teacher and before school starts, and to allow him to see the classroom, to meet the teacher, to see where he's going to be sitting, and it really helps his anxiety on the first day of school. I think it would be similar with giving a speech. If you can practice where you're going to be giving that speech or an environment similar to that, I think that would be super helpful. So in all of this, remember that stage fright is natural and that it happens to a lot of us. But there are things, like I mentioned, that we can do to help ease those anxieties before we give a speech. I hope this was helpful. Have a great day.